It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
The NBA season is in high gear, and we are so glad to have you here with us on 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. My companions are Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. And coming up in just a bit, tip-off will be live from Salt Lake City as the Jazz go up against the Los Angeles Clippers. Well, for the Clippers, 5-5 over their last 10 games, but they're not satisfied with 500 ball, looking to tack one onto the win tally tonight. Well, we're going to see Doc Rivers on the sidelines tonight, and there is no doubt he's been a successful coach wherever he's been. This question for you, Kenny, how would you grade his handling of the Clippers roster during his tenure?
Well, it's never easy being both president and the team coach. I mean, think about this. That's a lot of pressure because when the coach isn't doing his job well, who fires him? Not the president. When the president isn't doing his job well, who fires him? It's tough because there's no one to manage the other person when you are both people.
You know, not every move has been a success, but no real disasters. You know, he's always been active in improving the roster, and we'll see. But he needs to win now.
Ernie, would you reprimand yourself?
I do all the time.
Would you fire yourself?
I'm always saying, why did you take this job to work with these bozos?
Oh, wow. That's not reprimand.
Kevin Harlan.
Now we're bozos.
It's the home of the Jazz here in Utah as 2K Sports brings you today's action. Live from Salt Lake City, Utah, and the Energy Solutions Arena. Well, the holidays always bring us some incredible NBA action. That's certainly what we have in store for us today. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. You take a look at Los Angeles. Well, they come into every game with confidence, and this game is no different. Two elite teams put each other to the test, certainly, every time they meet. A lot on the line in this one, though.
You know, for Los Angeles, they're in good shape in the standings with the postseason on the horizon. Maybe a notch below where we thought they'd be.
And, Greg, I think they may be saving their best for last. This is a team that's built for the playoffs, and they'll be in top form when they need to.
Tip-off goes to the Clippers. And the Clippers starting five. Bledsoe is out there with Paul George. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Jordan. And it's Ibaka in at the 4 slot. Now here's Bledsoe. There's the screen. Ibaka outside. And it's off from three-point range. And guys, Serge Ibaka's production was just a little off last season. We're not talking, big number changes. We're talking small dips in a number of categories.
Well, one category where he did really fall off, though, Kevin, was field goal percentage. A career 53% shooter, he dropped down to 47.
Clock at 4. Mitchell's shot is good. Mitchell's got the scoreboard going with his first points of the night for the Jazz. Utah's on defense. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Warriors.
And nothing went well offensively on this night for them. They were just completely disjointed.
Yeah, you could call it the 3 Ds: disjointed, disorganized, discombobulated, or whatever else you wanted to use to describe that would be appropriate.
And getting back to Ibaka, everything changed for him the minute Kevin Durant was lost last season. I mean, defenses could focus on him, and he was the Thunder's only front court scoring threat. And as much as he's improved on offense, he still has neither the flexibility nor skill set to be a guy that can be considered a first or second option offensively.
That free throw good from Leonard.
Talking about Ibaka, last season was good for his growth. I mean, he got a taste of what it's like to be the first or second scoring option rather than an afterthought. Now it's up to him to take that experience and convert it into improvement.
Mitchell, and that one falls coming off Conley's feet. Mitchell's got 5 now.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Now, here is Ibaka. He had 10 points in the win against the Lakers. Screened by Ibaka. Bledsoe passes to Jordan. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. Here's the Jazz with the ball. Last time they met was in Los Angeles, where they beat the Clippers.
Yeah, a dominant win for them their last time in this matchup. And what jumps off the stat page was their advantage on the boards.
Yeah, they were overpowering inside, and you've really got to like their chances, Greg, if they can replicate that tonight.
The Clippers have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Leonard dishes to Jordan. They set the screen. Jumper off the screen. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Jordan's got his first points of the game. Mitchell kicks to Favors. Now the pass to Gay. Gobert with a screen for Gay. Another miss by Gay.
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
Yeah, come on now. You got to remember it's a team game. He's got 4 teammates out there with him. I don't think he needs to try to do it all by himself like that.
And here's Leonard from 3. The shot is off. The Jazz go the other way with it. Mitchell passes to Gobert. Gay outside for the 3. Another miss by Gay.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
Bledsoe dishes to George. Shot from free throw range. No good off the front iron.
And even though it didn't go down, he did some nice work to get that inside.
Mitchell kicks to Favors. He feeds it to Gay. Gobert with a screen for Gay. Top of the key, Conley. The top of the key jumper is on the mark. George with the ball. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against the Lakers.
You know, and in watching that game, he did a really nice job of passing the basketball, scoring, and setting up his teammates.
Now, here's George, trailing by 2. An absolute bomb from three-point range. Offense is what drives the Clippers, and they were fantastic at it last season. Easily one of the most exciting teams to watch with their high-flying and high-scoring act and number 1 in terms of efficiency.
Yeah, and it's not just a flash for the Clippers on offense. You talked about their efficiency on the offensive end. Led the league in points scored per 100 possessions at 109.8.
Here is Ibaka. Derek Favors making his last shot. Ibaka, the pass to George. Fade away. They grab their own miss. Nobody near Leonard. Off target with his 3. Utah's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Mitchell dishes to Conley. Favors with the screen. Conley with the screen on Leonard. Gay drives in. And it's Favors that time on the assist by Rudy Gay.
The second he got around the pick and shook his man, it was straight to the bucket for the easy deuce. Very, very well done.
We'll now go to Doris Burke, who spoke with Quinn Snyder. Doris?
He knows one of the hardest parts on scoring against this defense has to do with their prolific shot blocker, Serge Ibaka. He told me he's one of those guys who can get in your head a little bit because he's so mobile. You often don't see him coming. And Kevin, you add in his great rebounding and ability to hit from mid-range, and he's always an X-factor for them. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris. Cranes it from beyond the arc. Ibaka's got himself on the board with 3 there.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Favors with a screen on Bledsoe. Conley with a wide open look. And right away, they match it with a 3-pointer of their own.
And another lead change here. How many of these are we going to have tonight?
I'm not quite sure, but I'm willing to bet it'll be more than a few.
Now here's Jordan. 14 points from him the last game against the Lakers.
Yeah, but the rebounding in that game as well was just tremendous. I mean, he dominated the backboard.
Gay with it. It's Ibaka picking him up. Out to the wing. Here's Mitchell. The Clippers grab the miss. Their last game, a win against the Lakers, looking to carry it into this one.
And the deciding factor in that one was their success from the floor. I mean, they just hit big shots time and time again.
Yeah, just the way you want it when you're the road team. Don't even give the fans a chance to get into it.
Where's the box out? Some easy second chance opportunities there. Those kinds of mistakes drive me crazy and will absolutely derail a team's chance to win.
And a first time out of the game called for Utah. DeAndre Jordan. Has been extremely productive over 7 years. That makes it even more unbelievable that there was some question, Clark, as to his commitment to basketball coming into the league.
Yeah, you know, on talent and athleticism alone, he would have been a top 10 pick for sure, but he slipped to the second round and he's made good on it, though.
Here's what Utah's going with right now. Joe Ingles comes in for Rudy Gobert, and it's Jordan Clarkson in for Mike Conley. Here's Clarkson. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Now that's the way it's done. Take it up high and throw it down with everything you got.
That's right. And Clark, he was not going to take the soft approach on that drive.
I would certainly hope not. I mean, you get that kind of opportunity with little resistance from the defense, you got to take it.
Here's Jackson after the basket by Utah. Here's Leonard. Again, Los Angeles.
And watching DeAndre Jordan, he's really refined his game over the years without losing the athleticism. He's that rubbery, long-limbed athlete that transcends age. And so far, I've seen zero drop-off in his leaping ability and quickness, but no question he's improved his skills and IQ. Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
Okay, a screen on George. Here's Mitchell, and he connects on the jumper. The screen did the trick. Mitchell's got 7. Clippers trail by 3.
And talking about DeAndre Jordan, he is displaying an energy level that many scouts wondered if he had. Let's face it, he underachieved a bit in his 1 year in college. He knows that. But when it's come time to do it at the highest level, DeAndre has risen to the occasion.
Clarkson kicks to Ingles. Gay against Leonard. No good from Gay.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
And Leonard gets it to go.
He presents a defender with a serious challenge, always.
Utah has gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. Leonard against Gay. Favors with the screen. Off the pick. Another miss by Gay.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
Outside Jackson. And Ibaka kicks to Leonard. Again, Leonard missing. Utah trailing here, and it's time for an injury report. Let's get an update now on George. Doris, what's his status?
Guys, the head athletic trainer for the Clippers provided some information for us. Not what we wanted to hear, guys. It sounds like it's a very serious injury. We're into the heart of the season now, and that's the last thing this team wanted to hear. That's going to make their winter just a little bit longer, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Boy, you always hate to see anyone ever deal with any sort of injury.
And almost for every player, it's inevitable. I mean, injuries are going to happen no matter how well you take care of yourself.
And let's just hope the rehab process doesn't drag on any longer than it has to.
And the Jazz with some changes. Lyle comes in for Derek Favors. And Bogdanovich is subbed in for Mitchell. The Clippers also making some changes. Bargnani is checked in for Jordan. Batum comes in for Serge Ibaka. And Smith subbed in for George. Now, here is Bargnani. He's averaging a bit over 5 points a game.
No clue how he got that one to fall.
And that was not a soft foul he had to get through, Greg. I mean, he had to really power that one up and in.
Injuries have certainly taken their toll on Bargnani, culminating in disaster last season. Greg suiting up for only 29 games, the fewest ever in his career.
Yeah, I mean, he had a series of leg injuries, the hammy, the calf. The really unfortunate part about it is that he has so much talent, but yet really to develop that on the floor because of all the issues.
Now here's Gay. In the loss to the Warriors the other night, definitely was not himself. Here's Clarkson. That one off the back iron and out.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
The open shot by Leonard. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. And it's a 4-point Clipper lead.
Well, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page.
Gay outside. He dishes it to Bogdanovich. Back to Gay. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Gay's got his first bucket in this one.
And how about that exhale there? Finally gets one to fall through 6 attempts.
The drive by Jackson. It's blocked. Out of bounds, Clippers ball as the Clippers keep possession. Bargnani passes to Batum.
Well, he's got to watch himself now. I mean, that's 2 fouls already, and he can't afford another.
Foul call. Looked like the D didn't get there in time, and he'll shoot free throws. And guys, Nicholas Batum is a real greyhound on the floor. The guy's got long strides, runs fast, long and limber. Clarkie, he covers a lot of ground.
Extremely active at both ends of the court, Kevin. Great versatility. He can defend 3 positions, and he's played big minutes for the Blazers.
And he knocks down the first one.
And guys, now the NBA has what's called player tracking. I mean, they can show how much ground a player can cover over the course of a season. And Nicholas Batum, always amongst the leaders. 2 seasons ago, he was number 1.
Burke, he's checked in for Utah. And both free throws good for Nicholas Batum.
And Batum with that slender build, you know, you like his height and length, but he can get pushed around at times. I think he can still stand to add some strength.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should continue to work the ball down low, Clark. It's really going to free up their outside shooting.
Now here's Leonard. 23 points for him the last game against the Lakers in Los Angeles. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top. but instead he'll shoot free throws. Kawhi Leonard, with another great season last year, earned his first Defensive Player of the Year award with his outstanding play.
And for Leonard, he became the first perimeter player to win one since 2004. That just shows you how incredible his defense was at times.
A free throw good from Kawhi Leonard.
And, you know, for Leonard, you can add that Defensive Player of the Year award to his hardware list, and that puts him in elite company, one of only 3 players to win Defensive Player of the Year and Finals MVP. The other 2, Jordan and Olajuwon.
He makes 1 of 2 that time.
And for Leonard, winning the Defensive Player of the Year didn't change him at all. I mean, he received a card for winning that award and gave it to charity, went out of his way to thank his teammates during his acceptance speech. I mean, I think it speaks of his character and really the impact that Popovich has had on him and that entire Spurs team.
Just 2 to shoot. Burke. And again, it's the Jazz from deep.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
So it's the Clippers now. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. There's the pick. Leonard on the wing. 11 seconds left to play in the first quarter. There's the dish to Smith. And not going to go. He misses the first attempt on the night. Tie game in Utah. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return.
Come on with it. Come on with it. Me and you getting it on. Don't even go there. Come on with it. Come on with it.
And a chance to hear from DeAndre Jordan, who talks about the inspiration he drew from head coach Doc Rivers.
Doc told me, you know, you should be Defensive Player of the Year, not just for one time, but for multiple years. And I could tell that he wasn't trying to hype me up or just telling me that because I was his player. He really meant it. Once you have that confidence from somebody like that, you can only play well.
A strong case can be made that Jordan played like the Defensive Player of the Year, Clark, this past season. And the fact that he didn't win it looks like it'll keep him motivated.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I love the passion he plays with defensively. It seems like a burning fire in him. Doc has stoked that fire with desire and inspiration. You've got to love how the passion to play defense burns in DeAndre.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And taking a look at the Jazz performance here, guys, what have they been doing or not doing?
I tell you what, the scoring has come in threes for the most part here so far.
Every time down the floor, it seems they're knocking down the triple.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. And the Clippers, looking at who they've got Smith, Bargnani is out there with Batum. And there's Jackson as Bledsoe in at point. Now, here's Clarkson. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Golden State.
And don't forget about his work on the glass. I mean, he contributed in a number of ways.
And around a minute gone here in the second quarter. Picked by Bargnani. Bledsoe dishes to Jackson. And a great assist by Bledsoe as that one goes in. 6 points for Reggie Jackson. Utah has gone a very strong 4 for 5 from three-point land in the ball game. Here's Bogdanovich. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
And it's Smith missing. Jazz have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. Clarkson kicks to Burke. Passes it to Bogdanovich. And the foul on Eric Bledsoe. That is his first foul of the game.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
Greg, those are always tough to judge, but I think the official got that one right.
A different look for Utah. Mitchell, he's checked in for Jordan Clarkson. And it's Conley in for Trey Burke. And Los Angeles making a change here as well. Paul George, he's checked in for Reggie Jackson. Here's Mitchell. 20 points for him last game against the Warriors in Oakland.
And also give him credit for his ability to pass the basketball. He was always looking for the open man.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Textbook. Really, when you look at how they're playing, they are having their way down low.
And Batum kicks to Smith. Pass to Bledsoe. Picked by Bargnani. 6 to shoot. Here's George. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim. Jazz have gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Well, what a second half of the season it was for the Jazz. After the All-Star break, they went on a rampage.
And the catalyst for that was the defense. I mean, very few opponents got to triple digits against the Jazz after the All-Star break.
Now here's Bledsoe. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
And for the Jazz and their defense post-All-Star break, it helped them in their big second-half run. How about a 422 field goal percentage after the break?
And, you know, you were talking about the field goal percentage against for the Jazz. It was the 3rd best in the league after the All-Star break. That's field goal percentage defense. They allowed the fewest points in the NBA after the break as well.
First one falls for him.
And Nicholas Batum injuring his wrist last season. He was pushed in the back by Larry Sanders on a dunk and went down hard.
Rudy Gay's checked in for Lyles. The Clippers also making some changes. Jordan, he's checked in for Bargnani. And it's Ibaka in for Smith. Both free throws good from Batum. We saw that wrist bother Batum all season long. His shooting numbers down drastically. Clark, a major blow for him.
And you know what? The league might have to look at that. I mean, Sanders got a 1-game suspension, but is that really enough to discourage that kind of reckless foul? It's a thin line, but I think it's worth a further look.
Conley's shot is off. The Clippers in the lead. George passes to Ibaka. It's a nice passing here by Los Angeles. Gobert with the block. In transition, here come the Jazz. Bogdanovich, no luck. LA has gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9, and that is good. Bledsoe's got his first points in this one.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Nobody near Gay. It's good from long range. Gay's got 5.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
Ibaka sets the pick for Bledsoe. And Rudy Gay picks up the foul. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
That's the risky run by staying out there as he picks up his 3rd.
And Utah making a change here. Favors is checked in. Ibaka dishes to Batum. 6 on the shot clock. Bledsoe for 3, and the shot is good. He's got 5.
They're hovering around 50% for the game in three-pointers. That's pretty good, but they've really elevated here in the second quarter.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
It's been a good game for Mr. Fischel. He has 12 points, and he's knocked down a pair of three-pointers in this game, too.
And maybe it's time for them to set a few more screens for him up top and let him add to that total.
In a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for Los Angeles.
And they've made an effort to get to the line here in the first half, guys, and it's starting to pay off.
They've also gotten into a nice rhythm from the three-point line early on tonight.
Free throw dropped for Mitchell. Utah was so tough near the end of last season, Greg. They weren't going to make the playoffs, but they did give other teams some trouble.
That's a great point. And how about going 19-10 after the All-Star break? Another team that would have been in the playoffs if they were in the East.
And Utah making a change here. Ingles is checked in. And he makes both free throws.
And, you know, for the Jazz, you mentioned their post-All-Star break surge. I mean, that 19-10 record they had after the break was good enough for 6th best in the league.
Now, here is George. He's a solid producer, averaging nearly 22 points a game.
Good pick, but he just couldn't make it count.
Yeah, nice job of setting the screen by his teammate there. I'm sure you appreciate it.
The Jazz again can't hit it.
And really, the Jazz were a team nobody wanted to play after the break. They were over 500 against the rest of the West and had some big wins over playoff teams in the process.
Take what's available. Use the fadeaway when the defender's there on you.
Favors with the ball. Eric Bledsoe covering. Paul George with the steal. Bledsoe right side. The shot's good on the assist by George. George has got 3 assists now in this one.
And he has really come to life here after a slow start in that first quarter.
Here's Mitchell. He's got 14. Favors with a screen on Bledsoe. Conley kicks to Favors. The pick gave him all the room he needed, and he knocks down the J. Favors got 6.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Now, here's Batum. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The Clippers need to get off a shot. They blow the whistle just as he gets it off. That's 2 points with a chance for another one at the stripe. The Clippers have been coming through at the charity stripe. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts.
And one of the highlights on the season has been their ability to make free throws. How about 82% as a unit?
Boy, I tell you what, you can't even compare their numbers at the free throw line last season to the numbers this year. I mean, they are so much better.
Leonard, he's checked in for Nicholas Batum. Free throw good, Jordan.
Boy, I tell you, I thought the Jazz had a big year last season. Looked much tougher than before. A big part of that is how Coach Quinn Snyder helped the team grow. I mean, he looked like a perfect fit in his first year with the franchise.
Clippers leading by 4. Bledsoe kicks to Jordan. Outside, George. The rebound by the Jazz.
Well, it's just been one of those kind of games for him.
Here's Conley, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
And, guys, one thing sometimes gets lost. I mean, Mike Conley is a proven winner. Remember, you go back in high school, won 3 state titles, and the one season at Ohio State led them to the national title game. So that aspect of what he brings, the intangibles, you're going to be a winner if Mike Conley's on your roster.
The first one falls. And for Mike Conley, growing up, he played on some tremendously talented teams. Guys like Greg Oden, Josh McRoberts, his teammates.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, he never had to really look for his own offense to win games with those kind of players around him. He came into the league more focused on setting up his teammates, and that's what he does well.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And Coach Doc Rivers wears multiple hats for this organization. Not only is he the head coach, but also in charge of all basketball operations, really the leader in a lot of ways for this team.
Now here's Bledsoe. 7 points in the game. Ibaka, the pass to Bledsoe. Left side, Leonard shoots it, releases from the wing and drills it. Leonard's got the lead up to 4 now for the Clippers. Thinking about Doc Rivers being a leader, he was like that on the floor, Clark, as well. You know that. You went against him.
A leader and a winner, no doubt about it. And there have been a lot of coaches that came from his old Celtics team. And of all of them, perhaps the least surprising is Doc Rivers for the reasons we just mentioned. Leader and coach on the floor.
And the Jazz call time here. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Kicks it to Conley. Gobert, the screen. Favors, dishes to Ingles. Pass to Mitchell. Here's the 3. Score the basket. It's number 6 for him this game. 6 for 9, 67% shooting.
It's first triple of the second quarter, third of the game.
Screen by Ibaka. George, that's a 2-pointer. That doesn't go either for George.
And he's really having all sorts of problems with his jumper right now.
Yeah, big time. I mean, the words that come to mind, ice and cold and disappearing strokes, all would apply.
Really, the defense is helpless to stop a layup right there. Just too much of an advantage in terms of the mismatch.
Last season, the Clippers came away with the 3rd seed out west. They were very tough in conference and managed to get 37 of their 56 wins against Western Conference teams.
Jackson, he's checked in for the Clippers.
One shot.
A free throw drops for Gobert. As you said, for the Clippers, 37 wins last year against the rest of the West. That total was the second most against the rest of the West among any team in the league. Trailed only Golden State in that regard.
And you know what? They played the top West teams tough as well. One of only 3 Western Conference teams to be over 500 against the rest of the playoff teams from the West.
Utah leading. Mitchell kicks to Gobert. Dishes to Mitchell. Feeds it to Favors. Kawhi Leonard comes up with the rebound.
You rarely see him missing dunks, but the defender was right in his face on that one, and it threw him off just enough.
Here's Mitchell. He's covered by Leonard. They double team Conley. Here's Ingles. Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession. Well, you got to help out the team whenever you can, and this group of shooting guards have helped out on the glass for their respective teams this year. Second is Paul George.
Well, it's not easy to do what these players have done in that area, strictly because of positioning. I mean, typically a 2-guard, you're not in tight when a shot goes up, so competing for rebounds is that much more difficult.
And that's why it takes that unique combination of agility and instincts to make your way onto that list. Those guys have a terrific balance of the physical and mental aspects of the game.
3 on the clock. Here's Jackson. Jackson can't get that one to fall. Conley kicks to Ingles. Here's Mitchell, defended by George. Conley left side. They grab their own miss. Uses both hands to slam it down.
And what a gutty play. I mean, muscles his way to the rebound and then just pounds it home for the putback.
Well said, G.A. The battle on the boards, Clark, could go a long way toward deciding this game.
You know, and if that play is any indication, that's a battle they're willing to put every ounce of their energy into winning.
George with the bucket. Utah has gone 6 of 12 from outside, a very nice 50% mark, shooting the three ball well. Nice ball movement by Utah. Conley the pass to Mitchell. To the inside. Here's Gobert, and that one is stuffed right through.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
Now, here's George. He's got 5. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. Clippers were so strong on the road last season. They led the league, Clark, in field goal percentage while on the road. And actually they scored more points away from Staples than in it.
Especially down the stretch, Kevin. I mean, they finished the regular season with 8 straight road wins to get home court advantage in the first round. Superb.
So Utah ends up going with the new group. Bargnani is checked in for the Clippers. Smith comes in for George. So he comes up empty, missing both.
And the Clippers, with those 8 road wins at the end, you mentioned, that pushed their road record to 26-15. That was second best in the league. Also set a franchise high for road wins.
.135 left in the first half. Bogdanovich dishes to Clarkson. Shot's good by Lyles. Lyles got his second basket of the game.
You know, what's amazing about the Clippers on the road last year, guys, was the context. I mean, they had a bunch of back-to-back games and went 16-4 on the back end of back-to-backs. 11 of those came on the road. Well, they're not shooting as many from outside here in the second quarter.
They were shooting well early on. I like their spacing. I think they should get back to that.
The entire defense was frozen-footed. Nobody picked up the shooter, Kevin.
For 3, Smith. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got 3 assists tonight.
As opposed to the first quarter, they're doing a much better job from behind the arc here in the second. They're starting to heat up a little bit, percolate from behind that three-point line, and as a result, they're chipping away at that lead.
And then Gay with the dunk.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the two-handed slam.
Just piling on the lead with the dunk like that.
Now here's Jackson. He had 10 points in the win against the Lakers in Los Angeles. There's the screen. Smith for 3. And it's Smith again missing. Jazz leading by 5. There's 18 seconds left now here in the second. The shot by Clarkson, no good.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
Outside Leonard. From deep three-point range, the long distance 3 is buried. Leonard's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Really just a tremendous day for him. And if you remember, he was just as good in their last game.
And we're through the first half of basketball here in what's been a good one. Jazz out in front. They lead by a bucket. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, here with Doc Rivers. And Doc, so far in this game, do you feel like the team is struggling getting good looks?
I don't mind the shots. They're good shots for the most part. I would like extra passes every once in a while, but overall, our shots have been not bad. We got to get stops.
Coach, thank you for the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you for the great interview, Doris. We'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the halftime show on 2K Sports. Utah found themselves in a close game in the first. The biggest lead of the quarter was only 3 points as they traded baskets back and forth. The second quarter was a strong effort for them as they continued to battle, and they were able to close out the half in a good position. And Kenny, what'd you see out there from the Jazz?
Well, they're generating points in the paint, which I like to see. Too often teams fall in love with the three, and the defenses can key on that. You want to keep your offense unpredictable, which is why you need to establish a presence inside. Once you do that, then you can play inside out, and you've got the defense right where you want it.
And over to Shaq. Now your take on the Clippers.
Well, they could be ahead in this game if they were taking care of the boards. More possession means more scoring opportunities. Few rebounds either way could decide the outcome of the game. Ultimately, this game will come down to who wants it more.
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.